What is going on, folks? Soul Soldier coming at you today again from Robeson County, North Carolina. Just outside of the little old town of Parkton. If you don't know where that's at, for you old folks, go get an atlas. Y'all know what those are. For you young kids, go on Google Maps, type in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and then trace due south about, 8-9 miles, and just find the little town of Parkton in Robeson County, North Carolina. Other than that, folks, hope everybody had a good start to their week yesterday. Mine was fairly uneventful. It's always a good thing when it's uneventful. So, we've had ourselves a cold spell, and I think it got down to 39 degrees here last night, but tonight, it's supposed to get down to 29. So that's going to make a fun and interesting night for me and Mrs. Old Soldier and the two dogs in the camper. Yeah. It's going to be a cold night. Yeah. We'll get through it. We got plenty of blankets. We got a furnace in the camper. It works real well. Got a little plug-in electric space heater. And got one of them little heat-up oil radiators, too, that works actually pretty good in that camper. We had that on last night, and it's got a built-in thermostat, so it kicked off and on throughout the night. And the camper stayed in a relative amount of warmth. So. Big thing is the back end of the camper by the bathroom and the bunks. Those areas they're hard to keep warm, but right now we're using the bunk beds as storage. And in the morning, once the coffee's gone, of course the stove is on. That heats up the space a little bit, makes it tolerable to go in the bathroom, get on with the day's business. On a brighter note, we were told yesterday that our new home has been ordered at the factory. Thank God, thank God, thank God. Now, when are we getting it? Maybe February, because the factory's so backed up. But it has been ordered, folks. It has been ordered. So, all things said and done, it's kind of where we're at in this stage of the game. So, all right. What do we want to talk about today? Could moan and groan about the election, but I think that's a hit or miss proposition right now, the way things are going. Reading some reports, and you can't, and it's hard. It's really hard to take any of the media for anything today. And then if you go and you look at things, I know several of the court cases are being tossed out due to lack of evidence. Will this thing go to the Supreme Court for a ruling? We shall see. So, with that being said, old adage, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Maybe old Uncle Joe breaking his foot in several places might be an indicator of how he's going to, leave the presidency shortly after inauguration. Who knows? And I don't care about making light of Joe Biden. The man's an idiot. Everybody knows it. Everybody really knows the true power behind that presidency is the party, the Communist Socialist Party of America, which I think Kamala or Harris wants to make herself the head of. Thinks she's more important than what she really is to their greater scope and scheme of things. But time will tell on that note as well. Anyhow, anyway, Again, continue to stock up on those things that may come short demand again. Like I said, these governors of these Democrat states are losing their mind with their COVID restrictions. Playing a dictatorial rule instead of listening to common sense. And I've beat the ground long enough on it, and I'll say it again one more time. If you feel you need to wear a mask, put one on. If you don't. Wash your hands, wash your face frequently. Carry a pack of baby wipes everywhere you go. You can do that in conjunction with hand sanitizer, or you can just do the baby wipes. And I'm not 100% sold on all the hand sanitizers out there that they're selling just for COVID. And anybody with any rationale of common sense sees this as a measure to control and restrict and deny our freedoms. Period.com. You can't convince me otherwise. Not saying it ain't real, but it's like anything else, you take the proper precautions. Another thing we talked about yesterday, vitamin supplements, vitamin D, zinc. Get you a good multivitamin that kind of covers a wide range of things, folks. And again, most importantly, just wash your hands and face. Every time you go in the store, come out, get one of them big, fat, wet, juicy baby wipes and wash your hands all the way up above your wrist and your face. You can get your little shopping bag to put the trash in. It's too simple. So, the other day now, and I'm changing gears here about meals. Uncle Al posted one last week or week before last, and I've posted the link to this channel before, but go check him out. But he was talking about meals, and the importance of a hot meal. And he brought up some valid points about cold meals. Yeah, cold meals will sustain you, calories, that kind of thing. But over a prolonged period of time, it'll begin to mess up your digestive system, that kind of thing. But more importantly, I think you need hot meals because, one, it just tastes better, and two, they make your body feel better. And finally, it boosts your morale. Okay, even if it's just one hot meal a day, if the circumstances get down, and it's not, an end of the world scenario type thing I'm talking about. It's what, you've had a bad storm, the power's knocked out for several days. We shoot down here in North Carolina, hurricanes come through all the time, and the last big one we had, we were out of power for 9 days. Fortunately, we had a generator and we had a propane stove. So we were able to cook hot meals. But we limited it to about one a day because we didn't want to go through all our propane. Because, in the morning, old soldier's got to have his coffee. So that was one use. And then the second part was, usually supper we would cook a hot meal, whether it was just, soup, stew, whatever, grilled cheese sandwiches. Hot meal's a hot meal. So in your food preparations, make sure you got a means by which to heat up, warm up, and cook food. I would remind you to do that. You're going to need cooking vessels. I mean, if you're staying at the home, your normal, ordinary, everyday pots and pans will suffice for that. And if not, there's always your local sporting goods store. You can get camping cook sets if you think you need those. I know many a time in the Army, I used to heat up a meal or a cup of coffee in an old canteen cup. Canteen cup, next best invention of the old steel pot. And some of you old veterans like myself know, steel pots were good for a lot of things. You could cook out of them, you could bathe out of them, you could even dig a foxhole with one. Well, when the Army went to the Kevlar helmets, it kind of ruined that. But you still had your canteen cup. And you could boil enough hot water, you could shave your face. You could take a fairly decent bird bath. You could make coffee. And I'll be honest now, when I got long into the service, I had 2 canteen cups, one in each one of my canteen holders. One was for bathing and washing, one was for drinking coffee. Just a habit, okay? And I've been known to fry up an MRE or 2 in an old mess kit, which there's places that still sell the mess kits, the reproductions, but those will serve you well as well. Because one of them has a handle, which you can use as a makeshift frying pan, folks. And I've cooked many an MRE, I say cook, heated up, ate from a mess kit. And again, like I said, it's just one way of getting a hot meal. Because when I came in the Army, MREs didn't have heaters. So you had to find ingenious ways to heat them up. You could put them next to an engine manifold. You had to be careful though, because that full packet, like anything else like that, can melt, rupture your meal. Not like the old sea ration where you could put the can on top of it. But you can still put them in the engine manifold compartment and heat them up. The worst case scenario to heat up an old MRE was if you know you're going to be moving, you took out your main component and you put it in your BDU top and you prayed that you were moving enough, generate enough heat to at least keep it from being cold. The worst thing in the world back then was a cold MRE in the winter. Now, in summertime it wasn't so bad, but in wintertime, another one, like my first MOS, I was Signal Corps, so we'd have a coffee pot in our shelter vans. We'd plug those things up, and just put water in it. And as it heats the water up, you drop your MRE packets in there and heat them up. We did a lot of that. But one of those things, folks. But so, as you're prepping for your winter food intake, folks, think about a means to heat it up, something to cook it in, if you haven't already done so. Many of you probably haven't watched this channel. For those that haven't, it's just a bit of advice. Like I said, a warm meal is definitely a motivation boost. But, if anybody's got any other ideas, put them down in the comments below. Another thing for you old veterans out there like myself, start giving me your old MRE recipes. Let's compare notes just for grins and giggles. I don't know why I got on this subject, but I did, but here we are. For me, I used to take the crackers, I'd crumble them up in its packet. You'd add the sugar, the coffee creamer, the coffee, and the hot cocoa if you had it. If not, you traded to get it to make this recipe. And you added just enough water to make it almost into a paste. A little more than that. And it made a pretty good dessert, believe it or not. But tell me some of your combinations below. Like for me, the spaghetti, always melted the cheese and put in it, crumbled crackers in it if I had extra crackers, and added hot sauce. And oh man, that was good. that'd stick to your ribs for 4 or 5 days. But give me your comments down below in the comment section what some of your favorite MRE concoctions were. You know, I've heard all kinds of them. You know, I've tried some of them I haven't. But get a chance just to pop them down in the description below. And let's see what we come up with, folks. But until tomorrow, you know, stay safe. Watch your back. Keep your ear to the ground. Keep your eyes open. Head on a swivel. And until tomorrow, we'll talk to you then. It's the Old Soldier. God bless. Take care.